All right, guys. So we're going to talk a little bit more about Richard Steele. He's one of my absolute favorites. Check him out. Check his Wikipedia out. Watch some of the fights. He's got some fantastic, notable fights that he was the referee of. So I would suggest you check out all the fights that I'm going to let you know about tonight about Richard Steele. I think there's 2 or 3, not many. You should really see these 3 fights. So when you have time, on your own time. So anyways, Richard Steele, he was born January 26, 1944. That makes him 76 years old right now. His occupations through his life, he's a former U.S. Marine Corps Marine. He's a Marine, you know what I mean? U.S. Marine Corps. He's a former boxer as well as a former promoter and a former referee. So this is how he became himself, I guess. This was his route. He was a teammate on the U.S. Marine boxing team with Ken Norton. Ken Norton, guys. Okay, so he was, this is when they were in the Marines together. So that's a pretty interesting thing to think that he was training and working out with Ken Norton, who we all, if you don't know Ken Norton, look him up, all right? He fought Ali, he fought Fraser, he fought them all. He's another guy we'll talk about in the next few weeks, so stay tuned for Ken Norton. So anyways, he had an amateur boxing career as well. He started it out in the Marine Corps. Then when he left the Marine Corps, he started his amateur career. He had 15 fights as an amateur, 12 wins and 3 losses. So he wasn't that bad. He actually was a boxer, So after that brief amateur career, he decided to go pro. And at pro, he had 20 fights. He was 16 wins and 4 losses in his pro career, which is pretty good, I would say there's nothing wrong with that, he won basically, I guess that works out to 80% of his matches, basically. So he did really good. So he got out of the pro boxing thing. I guess maybe he just, he started reffing. He thought, I guess reffing was more his thing. It's easier than getting punched in the face all night. You know what I mean? So, and he loved the boxing stuff, and he was already, a pro. So maybe one of the promoters offered him a part-time job. Who knows? But maybe, Rich, if you're out there and you're listening to this, you can comment on how and why your pro career was only 20 fights, but your referee career was like 40 years. All right. So anyways, he started refereeing fights in the 70s, as a matter of fact, Graham, in the 70s. So he goes back really far. And he was a referee up until 2007 when he retired from being a referee. So he's been retired now, 13 years. And so he's, he put in his time, that's for sure. What is that, Graham? That would be what? The 70s, would he be at least 80s, 90s, 2000? So you're looking at 37 years, at least, maybe more, right? Like this guy is around for a long time and absolutely one of the best of all time. So he got a couple awards in his career. He was inducted into the U.S. Marine Boxing Hall of Fame in 2017. So he's in the Hall of Fame for that. And he's also known, he's got all these notable fights, like we had talked about earlier on, ones that I think that you guys should really look into checking out. I've seen these fights more than once. All of them are absolutely unbelievable. And I think, guys, you'll really enjoy checking it out. Like these fights, and yourself, Graham, if you get a chance, take a look at these 3 or 4, right? So the first one we're going to talk about was the Aaron Pryor versus Alexis Arguello fight. That's the first one I wanted to talk about. Aaron Pryor, Alexis Arguello. If you guys don't know who these guys are, check them out. They're absolutely world champions, hands down, unbelievable. We're going to talk about them both coming up. So later episodes, keep your eye out for Pryor and Arguello. As individuals, they were both fantastic world champions. He also reffed the Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler, the first one, which was an amazing battle, as we all know. If you want to check that one out, we talked about that in earlier episodes. That's the one where they the 3 rounds were just called the war. It was just unbelievable. So we got that one going down. The other one would be the Hagler-Leonard 1 fight, which he was refereeing. That was a big one too. I believe Leonard won that fight. I'm pretty sure. Hey, comment if I'm wrong. Whatever, guys, check it out. Hagler-Leonard 1. All right. The one that really, the one fight that I saw that was so controversial, like his actual decision was crazy. Like, I was watching this fight, and I've watched it probably 10 times. I don't understand, but he was protecting the fighters, as he said. And the fight was between Julio Cesar Chavez and Meldrick Taylor. Meldrick Taylor, all right? Fight of the century, remember, guys? Fight of the century, fight of the decade, whatever you want to call it. So what eventually happened was in the 14th round, Taylor was ahead on all scorecards, all right? Taylor was ahead on all scorecards. On comes the 15th round. Chavez decides he's not giving up like we talked about him. The guy was a warrior beyond warrior. This guy's probably an Aztec god or something. He's actually a warrior. So what happens? I believe there was about 15 seconds left in the fight, and Chavez knocked him down hard. And Taylor had a hard time getting up. And at that point, Mr. Steele was the referee, obviously, went to Taylor and said, you need to stand up, son. You need to stand up. If you don't stand up, I'm going to count you out. 4 seconds left. Count it out. Chavez wins. Technical knockout, 15th round. Meldrick Taylor actually won that fight. But I believe it was 2 to 4 seconds left, and Steele called it off. So what happened was, if he had just let the clock tick 2 or 3 more seconds before call, it would have been the end of the fight. Taylor had it in the bag. He was up every round. So it's a very controversial fight. So Graham, have you heard anything about that?
Nothing rings a bell.
No, eh? No? All right. Well, check it out, guys. Chavez Taylor. We've talked about it on earlier episodes, guys. So check it out. You'll really like it. He's retired now. He opened a gym. Now he runs a gym, and he does charity work with the Salvation Army. So good for him. Another humanitarian, right down the Neil the Deal way. Environmentalist, humanitarian, health nut, all the rest of that jazz. So thanks a lot for your contribution to the boxing community, Richard. And I'd love to meet you one day. Even make a comment, say hi to all the fans out there. All right, buddy? Thanks a lot. You're number one. Thanks a lot.
Thanks very much, Neil. Richard Steele, great name. Great boxer, great referee, illustrious career. We appreciate guys like that, staying in it for the long haul and staying in it for the kids. So that concludes this episode. Thanks very much, Neil. Appreciate your time and effort.
Thanks a lot, Graham, for having me.
You're welcome. And thanks for the viewers out there. Remember, please like, comment, and share our channel. Thank you very much.